Signs that God is preparing to bless you with something great. No one teaches you how to deal with a firing email. No one prepares you for the moment when your desk is empty, or for the farewell looks full of pity from you coworkers. Suddenly, your world is turned upside down. Plans, dreams, routines, everything is gone. You sit there with one question: why always me? You begin to doubt yourself, your ability, your worth, even your future. But what if it's not the end? Remember, God always has a plan for you. When God is about to give you something big, He often leaves clear signs. If you find yourself in situations in your life that you cannot explain, you may be on the verge of a season of blessing. This is the moment to recognize those divine signs and walk boldly in His great plan. Wake up, prepare yourself. Before we start, welcome you to the 7 Bible Verse channel. We have spent plenty of time studying the messages of God, so every word we write is sent with the utmost respect, aiming to share this holy journey with those serving Him. In our previous video, we discussed 5 clear signs that God is preparing to bless you with something incredible. Now, let's explore even more signs. Let's comment, "God, lead me," as a declaration that you are open to receiving His grace and glorious plan for your life. 1. You lost your job or changed jobs unexpectedly. Many people think losing a job is a failure. But for those who are chosen, it is sometimes a push to enter a new journey, a journey that is true to the mission that God has for them, to give you something bigger, deeper, and more timely. Isaiah 55:8-9. Lord declares, "As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." Jesus is a great example of an unexpected career change. Before He entered public ministry, He was a carpenter, living an ordinary life with His family. But when God called Him, Jesus left His job to go and preach the kingdom of heaven. This was not just a change of job, but a complete change in His life purpose. Jesus stepped out of His comfort zone and familiarity to fulfill His mission to save humanity, and He never looked back. Just as Jesus stepped into a new job with a new challenge and a bigger mission, you can trust that every change in your career has a deeper purpose. This is not a push, but an invitation from God, an invitation to step out of your comfort zone, to be used by God in ways you never thought possible. You are not a failure. You are being chosen to walk a new path where a bigger plan awaits you. Hold on to faith. Keep following His lead because something good is waiting ahead. Pray and trust that God will supply everything you need for what's next. Don't fear losing your job. Fear losing the meaning of your life. 2. You feel empty with things that used to make you happy. There are mornings when you wake up and realize your heart no longer stirs for the things that once made you feel alive. The things that used to bring you joy now feel empty. You wonder why. As an invisible void grows inside you, making everything seem distant, do not be afraid. This is a sign from God, a loving invitation to step into a new season, where He calls you to renew your spirit and rediscover the true meaning of life. Ephesians 4:22-24 writes, "You were taught, with regard to your former way of life, to put off your old self, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness." Look at Saul, later Paul, once found pride and passion in persecuting Christians. He was proud of his authority. But on the road to Damascus, he encountered Jesus, went blind, and entered a crisis. The things he once valued became worthless. In that moment, God opened his eyes, both spiritually and physically, and completely transformed his life. From a persecutor, Saul became Paul, a mighty apostle of Christ. God not only changed his path, but also renewed his heart so that he could find true joy and meaning in serving Him. So remember, when you feel weary and empty, it's not failure, it's an invitation for renewal. God can lead you from darkness into light, from weariness into joy and hope. Don't be afraid when old things lose their meaning, because that's the sign of rebirth. a chance for God to lead you into a new life and a new mission. You feel compelled to tell the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. Have you ever felt like a fire was burning inside you? A strong urge to speak out against what's wrong? Even though you know speaking up could bring rejection, misunderstanding, or consequences, you still can't silence the truth inside. This isn't just emotion. It's a sign that God is stirring a mission within you to speak, to stand, and to live truthfully. 2 Corinthians 13:8 says, "For we can do nothing against the truth, but only for the truth." History remembers those who spoke the truth when silence was safer. Nelson Mandela, the courageous leader of South Africa, is a living example. For decades under the apartheid regime, he refused to be silent. Even when imprisoned for 27 years, he stood firm in his belief that all people deserve equal treatment. His courage to speak the truth, even at great personal cost, made him a global symbol of justice, courage, and forgiveness. When God begins to call you to speak the truth, He is not looking for someone who is perfect. He is looking for someone who is honest. You may not be in Mandela's shoes, but in your own family, your work, or your community, your voice can change someone's life. The truth is often not easy to hear, but it is always the beginning of freedom. You are not called to please everyone. You are called to live God's truth. Your voice can be a light in the darkness of silence. You become more emotional when hearing God's word. It might just be a short Bible verse, a worship song. A simple prayer can melt your heart. Tears fall, your heart trembles. You can't explain why. You used to be strong, logical, but now something deep inside your soul is being stirred. Those moments aren't just emotional reactions. They're signs of awakening, signs that God is drawing you closer, that you're starting to hear Lord calling your name. John 6:63 reminds us, "The words I have spoken to you, they are full of the Spirit and life." A friend of mine felt distant from God for a long time. She went through trials, felt abandoned, and could not find closeness with Lord. However, during a prayer meeting, as everyone was praying together, she heard a Bible verse resonate in her heart. "God is with you at all times." Suddenly, her heart was touched, and tears fell uncontrollably. That was the defining moment where she felt God's strong presence and His love that brought her back to faith. She saw clearly how her life could change as she walked in His hope. When your heart is touched by God's word or someone's testimony, it's not a coincidence. It's a sign that God is working, that He's calling you, and that He wants you to feel His unconditional love for you. Don't dismiss those touching moments. They could be the first step to a big change in your life. When your heart is touched, you're hearing God's call. You find great joy in obedience and humility. You no longer need to stand out. You no longer need applause or recognition. You just need to know one thing. I am living exactly as you want me to, and that's it. Your heart is at peace, filled with a strange joy. It's not because you are weak or resigned. It's because you have found true strength in obedience. When the world tells you to go up, you choose to go down, and it is in your lowest place that God raises you up the highest. Matthew 23:12 writes, "For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted." Princess Diana is a powerful example of humility and selfless service. Despite being one of the most famous women in the world, she chose compassion over recognition. Diana dedicated much of her life to caring for the poor, orphans, and those suffering from HIV/AIDS. Her life reminds us that true joy and peace are found not in fame, but in serving others with a sincere and humble heart. Life is not always easy, and sometimes true joy comes from the small actions. When we live humbly and obediently to God, don't seek praise or recognition, because only when you live with love and genuine service can you truly experience joy and peace in your soul. God always lifts those who humble themselves and serve with a humble heart. When you live humbly and obediently, you are creating a meaningful life, not only for yourself, but for the entire world. All these signs show that God is moving in your life, preparing you for the great things He has planned. Stay persistent and trust His guidance. Every shift, whether it's isolation, closed doors, or inner change, is part of His divine preparation for a blessed future. If this message touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Join us at 7 Bible Verse as we journey together in faith, uncovering God's purpose for our lives and strengthening our spiritual walk. May God guide you, protect you, and illuminate your path with His divine light.